ladies and gentlemen, you can't see what I see, but I'm looking at what I think they call in the more educated world a Yoshi mock bike. I don't know. I gotta learn more about it. Anyway, this is 219. That's right, you heard that the first time. Episode 219 of Keeping It Real. I am just the guy, not really even your host. My name's Kadis, and before we start the episode, I want to make a brief call out to any potential sponsors willing to sponsor the show. You could be the first ever sponsor in this show's history. Moving forward, I want to break down how the show's going to go before the show goes. Usually we have 20-minute segments, 3 of them to be exact, for a 1-hour show. Comes out at 7:15 in the morning, every single morning. But today we're privileged enough to have a very good friend of mine, Griffin Hilliard, on the line. So I don't really follow that structure too strictly when he's here, because it's a lot. How do I word this? It's very awesome to have somebody here. There's a lot of episodes that we do alone, and they perform worse. They're harder to do because, let's put it this way. I went on a 13-mile run yesterday, and 13 miles isn't the right way to describe it. It took me over 3 hours to run that distance. And I was near the end of it, I was realizing, I think one of the hardest parts about this entire run is that for an hour, I'm alone. I'm not scrolling reels. There's no one near me. I'm not talking to anyone. I'm just stuck running. It's kind of like a weird mental game. And speaking about that run, I have a decision to make in about a week. I did the run. I survived. I lived. I came home. But it's a different kind of I'm not sore. It's more of my certain spots and my certain parts of both legs kind of feel dead, unhealthy, and I'm paying attention to that. So I don't have to repeat or advance on this mileage for another 2 weeks. So that'll give me some time to assess. And, throughout that time, I plan on eating healthy. I get a lot of sleep. It just is not at the conventional times for sleep. That's going to change with school coming up. I wonder how school is going to affect my video producing. But today I want to go really in depth, video wise, and see just, how much can I really do? How much is really possible for me to get done? And that's an important question for me, right? Because we're kind of on this, we're always on a big up and down roller coaster with this show and with, life in general. It's just the fact that the camera's on, it's just, it documents it is all. And I feel like we've been on a mix of a down and an up, because on the upside, I'm at my 5th or 6th Instagram reel in a row to surpass 1,000 views. And that's bringing a lot of attention. I can feel it in the air. I feel proud of it. And it's something I've been actively pursuing, and here it is, and I'm trying to hold on to it. And then there is also the decline of effort on the YouTube front. I stop my 24 shorts a day. On the 3rd minute of every hour, there is no longer a short for me. But I feel that there is, there's a window for that to come back. I very recently purchased a DaVinci Resolve Studio license. So now I have access to all their AI tools, and everyone's all about, using AI to be better at what they do and all that. And, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, Griffin's muted. He's talking to, his, friend, Billy. So I'm going to keep on going on. If Griffin weren't here and I didn't say what I had just said, this would be the first segment, which is keeping it real. I do my best to just kind of tell you how I feel, recount what's going on in my life. And I already did that a little bit. I kind of got into it. But now the way that this is actually the time for me to have this segment. What we missed is a quick ad read. So, but the ad read itself was you should sponsor this video. So, because I don't have a sponsor. I don't have an ad to read, but I like to hold place for it. That's why I kind of make these announcements as I go, because I want to get into the practice of, this is a part in the episode where we do an ad read. So moving forward, I think here's what's going on for me. There's so much like stuff coming up in my life, like things to do, time occupiers. And it's like very, demanding of my focus. And it's all like, what I'm about to say it might show you how much I care about, a potential relationship with a girl, because it's like life and then relationship. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I guess you could do that for anything else, but like with this video stuff, it's not like this video stuff in life. It's like this video stuff and school and running and, and how they all fit into life. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, because I don't know necessarily, how much of it boils down to just like, I would really like to start having sex regularly. Like, I'm being serious. I don't masturbate. I don't watch porn. And a lot of my, release for that just comes, my body just takes care of it by itself. I'll be asleep and that's the kind of thing, I'll have dreams, or I don't remember my dreams ever really, but, I'll wake up and my body will have taken care of it. It's just, kind of a thing about life. And I, spend a lot of time and, I spend a lot of time online and, I think through my detachment from, I am no longer like, it used to be that I had 100% control. At least it felt like I had 100% control over that part. Like whenever I would get those feelings, I would just take control myself and do what I had to do. But now, like, I've moved to a spot where I just kind of let my body take control of it. Well, sometimes my body just really like is screaming at me, whilst I'm awake. And it's like, so when I talk about, looking for a partner and like, I really like to, and I'm going to tell you like two specific stories, probably just one. I have one that's really on my mind. I don't know like how much of my like desire to do any of this is actually just like a purely lustful one. Like the line is so blurred. Like I don't, like, and if, and then that's like, if it is purely lustful, then how am I supposed to, how do I know if it's okay to pursue that or not? And I think like, it's kind of, I feel like a lot of support from, I feel like I'm more supportable by ignoring it all and focusing on what I'm focusing on. But this is the keeping it real segment of the episode, and it's really something that like is a big part of like I don't know, my day-to-day life. Like these are it's just I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know what it is. And if I found that girl, it's not like I would just start having sex all the time. It would just be like, I would at least feel like, I don't know. It's like if you like just have this deep desire to learn, right? It's not like if you start attending school, you'll be any better off. I don't know how to describe this, man. I really don't. I don't know how to describe this. And I honestly, sometimes I feel gross about talking to it because I feel selfish about it, but I don't think that that's necessarily the right, I think like for me, I don't know how I'm going to feel when I start having sex regularly again. There's been times in my life where I have had sex regularly, and I think in most of those times I felt really gross about myself, and it's led to just, bad things, destruction of relationships, poor sex practices, and me being sort of a bad partner. I think that I am looking forward to the chance and opportunity, because I feel like it's a big change for me in the sex department, because it's very much like I'm very much like I'm every day I kind of look forward to like when like it will it be this year, will it be this month, will it be this week, like I'm young and I don't know, you never know, and it's like really exciting, and it's really like I'm starting to think of it in a different way. I think when I was younger, especially I think when I was younger, I would it would be like there was like a race to do it at the very start, because it was just like pure curiosity. And then I finally, had sex, and then it was like I detached me and her and like the people from the act, and it was just about the act. And then it's like I once again, I feel really stupid talking about it. I really do. I feel like she's pretty ridiculous talking about this, but I do, this is on my mind. And I'm not going to just switch topics just because, we'll have a hard stop here in 9 minutes and actually it's the topic that we are going to be talking about is actually pretty related to this. Griffin suggested it earlier in the day, and I was like, dang, that is a good topic. And I feel like Griffin and I's views on the subject are going to be very, very different. So there's going to be lots of room for debate. And I'm very excited. I'll reveal it. I'll have a little reveal in 9 minutes, but you already probably know because of the title and the thumbnail of the video.
Hello?
What's going on? How you doing?
Hey.
I'm actually I found myself talking about like lust and girls and sex, and I realized like it just happens. I just happen to be talking about this, and our next segment rolls so well into it.
Yes. Is it the next segment yet?
Nope, we got 9 minutes, but we can just talk about it, leading up to the segment. I mean, well, what do you think? I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out like. Really, honestly, at a base level, I think I'm really trying to figure out how I can start having sex again, because I feel like I've never, I've never like, I don't know why, but I feel like I've never done it the right way, because every time I've done it, the girl is no longer with me, Yeah.
It's just not meant to be, brother. I personally, somehow I got it right the first time, and then after that, it was 20 other times, and then I was just like, fuck this. I just feel shitty about myself. You think that's the solution and what you need, but it's not. What you need is just to work on yourself, build the garden to attract the butterflies. One of my favorite sayings. So you build the garden, and you'll get some butterflies. You know what I'm saying? And it'll just happen. I mean, that's just like literally how it goes. You don't know it. Just go with the flow. But no, you don't need to. I don't think you need to. You don't need to get back in the game. That's not what you need. You need to get rich and famous.
Get rich and famous. I didn't mean it when I said that. I worried that maybe it sounded like I was like mocking what you just said. I don't know why I just said what you said repeated back to you.
No, because it's funny.
I was not mocking. I was not doing that. I actually
be a doctor.
I actually am very interested in what
Rich and famous.
I'm actually very interested in what you have to say and what you're saying.
No, I didn't take it mockingly at all. I'm doing some research right now.
Go on.
Well, our next topic. So I think our next topic is going to be very difficult to, because I mean, dude, it can go. I feel like it fails when it comes to porn. It can go so many different ways. Like that goes. I mean, you can go on into everything. It can branch off into like what you're saying, lust, blah 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 blah, girls, pornography, all this shit. So I think to simplify I think we should talk about OnlyFans.
The company itself and the platform.
And I just want to, and I say this as we know, Lil Tay just dropped an absolute bomb, and I'm curious if she's just clickbaiting everybody.
And for those interested and unaware, Lil Tay is a very interesting case as a person because, in my eyes, in our eyes, really, Griffin and I both, and the world, she started off as someone's daughter. She came online and it wasn't really her.
A little girl.
Yeah, it wasn't really her in control of what was being published about her. It was a parent. And I don't know to what extent that's true. It may just be the opposite. Maybe she did actually have a phone and she was, in full control of how the world saw her through social media. But it was around 2016, 2018, correct me if I'm wrong, that she piggybacked off of a very popular streamer at the time named Rice Gum. And she blew up, and it was a very big moment in the online scene for, these certain communities, because regardless of who had control over her accounts, she was very, very young. And that's the first impression you get. It's like, this is really just a kid. And it was a shock factor. Like, a kid is saying this, a kid is saying that. And now, I guess she's 18 years old, and I didn't even know this. I think I'd maybe seen it, and it rings a bell when Griffin brings it up, but now I guess and we don't know what that entails necessarily. A lot of girls, famous ones, will have OnlyFans, but they all draw their own lines. Like, some girls, won't even be naked. Some won't take video. Some, won't show their face. Like, it's all different. Like, with OnlyFans. So now I think it's important to break down what the platform, actually is. And we're a bit early, but I'll just say this is the beginning of our second segment. And if you're interested in sponsoring this show, you could be the very first sponsor. OnlyFans is like Pornhub to compare. It's like Pornhub, but the free aspect, the free-to-play aspect, in a sense, is completely stripped from the user. OnlyFans is a pay to play. You must pay to gain access to any of it. There is no free content on OnlyFans. And I actually wonder if I'm wrong. I won't be visiting the site to check. Griffin, you've got audio bleeding. I'm not sure if you can stop that. But I'm not sure.
Bleed? What's those?
Like, I can hear whatever you're playing. Like Discord's letting it through.
Lil Tay's OnlyFans.
Okay, gotcha. So Griffin's doing background research. I wonder what he's gonna have to say or when he's gonna cut me off. But it's an extremely monetized version of porn, and it's honestly a very interesting sociological experiment.
It's advertised through Instagram pages.
It's advertised through everything, not just Instagram pages, and it's very, very interesting as a sociological study because porn is free. Like, you don't even have to. There are so many. Porn will be impossible to ever outlaw. It will never, ever go away. Whether it's online in the physical sense, porn will exist like every other drug exists. Like every other drug exists. There will never be any reality in our in our lifetimes, I believe, where this stuff is going to go away, and not just when it's going to go away, but when it will go away, like it's free. Like it is not, porn is honestly even on a different level than most of these drugs, because most drugs you might have a harder time finding for free. You might have to befriend the right people or be around the right environment to end up with free, physical, actual drugs. But porn can be physicals too. I'm just trying to distinguish here so you understand. But porn is free in abundance. Naked people doing naked things is at your fingertips at all times, always. And OnlyFans is such an interesting thing because it makes a lot of money. And the people that are active posters to the website, it does. It does.
But what if you're not? So I think the only way for you to actually be like profit off of OnlyFans for profit. You're gonna be profiting no matter what. But is it really worth throwing away? Like if you do OnlyFans, you're not getting a corporate job. There goes your career.
That's a whole different viewpoint. Yeah, that's a whole different
If you're gonna do OnlyFans, you're doing OnlyFans. It's this or it's you're in. So, but the only way to do that really is for you to be popular and then sell it. So for you to be really popular on Instagram and then sell it through Instagram to OnlyFans. I mean, that's really the only way for you to profit is to be popular somewhere else. Or, I mean, you might, so if you're just like a random chick, it's not worth it. If you're a random chick, you're not, I mean, it's not even close to being worth it. I don't think, unless you intend on like going to the bop house, in my opinion. But, yeah, you definitely have, yeah. I mean, I think you can, but Lil Tay, she says she just hit $1 million on her first day, her 18th birthday. Let's see when her 18th birthday was. Because apparently the OnlyFans dropped today. When's Lil Tay's birthday? Why can't I find this? When's Lil Tay's birthday? Jamie, look that up. Whoa. Her birthday's July 29th. So 2 days before ours. Okay, so freshly 18. And from what I got, and I was looking online, and I was looking at, this is also the interesting thing, is that like the problem with OnlyFans and like buying it is that I just looked up Lil Tay OnlyFans leaks and I just got everything she posts for free. There was a video title saying $200 OnlyFans thing, and like that, like someone paid $200 for this video of Lil Tay doing a leg stretch, and I just watched it for free, just like that. And so that kind of, I don't really know how it works. Maybe I don't really know why you would buy it if you can just look it up.
Well, I think a lot of her money and a lot of the income is coming from the older generation, your boomers, and even sometimes your millennials, people that grew up and aren't well versed in internet, not lingo, but internet, social, how do I say the word I'm trying to say? They don't understand. Yeah, they're not they're tech savvy enough, but it's almost like this, the internet is so well baked into your and I's mind, we have a hard time comprehending why you would ever find yourself in a position to pay money for that kind of thing. And it's honestly, I don't think other older, certain demographics think, and I think there is definitely people our age paying for this, right? I just think the numbers of our age are much less than the numbers as you get older and older and older, because
You're definitely right.
they have the access and they're going online. And I think, they're probably being targeted more by these campaigns and these Instagram accounts and these link distributors, because it makes sense in my mind. And this is really an assumption. I haven't seen any figures to back this up, but it makes a lot of sense that somebody that grew up in a world of no internet, as they come online and this industry begins to blossom, a couple bucks here, $100 there, $200 there, to, see what you believe to be the hottest woman of all time, it's a no-brainer. And if the money's going right to her pocketbook, then well, that's good, because I really think she's the hottest girl of all time. I'm happy and they don't see it as a bad thing. And viewed by whatever party, it might not be, but because it might just be because we're so tied into the internet and we're so aware of how our actions look to others, that we would say, oh, that's a no, I would never do that. But these people, they're they don't really they don't have Facebook account, they don't have they don't have hundreds of followers. They just have a couple people in their life. And what they do on the internet in their own time is their business. And it's so funny to see the amount of people where this is true to add up to a $1 million first day revenue for this young girl. It's revealing, to say the least. But it's also to be expected. And I'm always someone that looks to the future. And I think as we continue to move forward, less and less people are going to fall victim to this money trap. I hope. That's just an optimistic stance that I take, because it's just like gambling. You're going to lose money. It's the same. You don't gain anything at all by paying a girl on the internet, ever. Never going to gain anything. There are so many more ways to pay a girl on the internet than just OnlyFans. It's a money funnel, and it always has been. OnlyFans, for whatever reason, has just seemed to find a good formula and created a good user interface. Because, a lot of these girls, they're not going to create an account on XXX, fuckme.com. But OnlyFans has somehow managed to develop a reputation, and probably, a lot of front end work has gone into it interface wise to make their platform feel more like you're posting to Twitter or something fun, something that you normally do.
You're directly talking to your audience.
Yeah, so it's much more of an easier jump for a girl to take, because just like the guys that are giving the money, the girls that are posting the content, it's all about how the public perceives you. And we are, you never can forget that as people, we're just social. So public perception is always in our minds and what we do.
I want to, so something you said was you're targeting the older audience and all this and all that. And I think it is targeted towards the older audience, but then you have to think there's kids on Instagram too, there are especially Lil Tay, that there were memes and rice gum and all that. That was such a young thing. So there, and then especially with the Bop House and OnlyFans models and TikTokers are so integrated now. There's no way that some of these some of these OnlyFans models aren't targeting kids. I mean, it's just straight up kids. So then you're getting them hooked on porn on a young age. It's OnlyFans almost bleeds into Instagram. Just how Instagram, it's fucked up in my opinion. But I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Especially since since she's so ripe. You have to think oh, that is a fucking crazy way to put it. But someone in the comments was said something. They're and I was thinking about it. And they're she just turned 18 and she's posting. Does that mean some of the videos that she's posting on OnlyFans are, when she was 17, maybe a day younger, but still technically 17. It's just weird. But as far as if a girl was to do porn, I'd rather it be on, not in like my personal opinion, but I would feel that they are safer on OnlyFans instead of being on some porn site where a guy and a manager are taking advantage of, like, Mia Khalifa, how like she's huge, she's giant, but in no way does she reap any of the benefits of what she's done, But I don't even think, like, I think she's gotten like $2,000 out of like everything that she's done. She's probably made like, I think something crazy. Like she said, she's only made $2,000. But through my research, I don't even think that Lil Tay's really going like crazy. It seems to be just her wearing outfits, like not even in her underwear. It's very strange.
Well, it's like anything. Pokemon cards are just cartoons on pieces of cardboard, yet some of them are worth so much more money. And to hold that Charizard, the glittery Charizard in your hand, and knowing how much it's worth, it feels different. It feels heavier, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think? Tell me,
Yeah.
what do you think about a girl who chooses to make an account on and start producing pornographic content for a website like OnlyFans?
What do I think of her? I think the correct answer would be, who am I to judge? But I think I would say that she's lost. That she feels that that's the best, like that is her best solution in life, is to go on OnlyFans and then, that like, and do that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's so many other ways to go about, there's so many other routes before even thinking about OnlyFans. But then again, with the exception of like, someone like Lil Tay, she's really good at marketing, and she knew. And I guess if she got her bag, bro, then I guess, can you blame her? But as for like a normal girl that has this idea of, oh, I'm gonna go on OnlyFans and I'm gonna do the exact same thing as Lil Tay did and have the exact same result, then I would think she's being misled, and she's gonna find out that it's not like that. It's much harder. You're gonna have to put in so much work, just like with any other business. You're gonna have to put so much work into building that, into and marketing it and making it as profitable as what you would want. I think at the end of the day, you could have just put in that same amount of work into something else that you're actually passionate about and can enjoy, and doesn't close so many doors as that option. And I would say most people regret it. I think I really do think most people regret it. What about you? What do you think?
I think I disagree with you. I think I disagree with you.
I see.
When you said lost, that was when I was kind of like, okay, I think I disagree with that. And then I continued, a couple things I agree with. But I think for the most part, I really took an opposing stance, because there's a lot of different ways to look at the situation. I don't think when I disagree with you, I say, everyone that does OnlyFans is an amazing person. But I do think that if we are assessing character, because that's the original questions, like what do you think of the person that creates an account and starts posting to a company like OnlyFans? It's very important to, at least in my mind, put yourself in their shoes. And I don't think, most people in most decisions are sort of done in like a human way. I don't know if human's the right word, honestly. I don't know what word that I would use to get into this, but it's just a situation where I don't necessarily take a negative stance on it immediately.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's yeah. Like I said, it's the correct thing to do would be like who am I to judge? And for some reason, like uh yeah, I mean, who am I to judge? But I do think of it as I just think of negative thoughts when I do think of like, oh, like I'm gonna do OnlyFans. It's like, oh, I would suggest reconsidering. That's what I would say to the person.
Well, I would reconsider that decision like
But
you reconsider any big decisions. It's just a big decision with a lot of
yeah,
potential implications, and whenever you make any decision like that, you should just do your best to think it over more than once. But I guess the topic of today is OnlyFans. OnlyFans. Would you ever see yourself making an OnlyFans?
uh, so then okay, so this is the one. So this is like, you got to think like $1 million. Like that's a lot of money, man. $1 million, and all you gotta do is post underwear pictures. It's like, dude. I mean, I'm like in my underwear every day, live streaming, or pretty much not like in. I'm never in my underwear live streaming, but I mean, shorts, boxers. They're the same fucking thing. Like, let's be real. But like $1 million. Um, I would not find the. I would. I mean, no, never. I would never ever find myself doing it, and I don't care how much money you'd offer me to do that. I wouldn't do it. Do I see like why other people do it and why you would consider doing it? Yeah, if you're famous and you can do the same, and I mean that's literally it. That is the only thing. I would see someone doing business. If you know that you're gonna fucking drop that shit and you're gonna get a bag, then probably never use it again. And I don't blame them for doing it, but I still don't think it's worth the money. I don't think it's worth the money. I don't think it's worth. It doesn't and it doesn't even matter what negative thoughts I think. So many other businesses think negative thoughts about it. So why would you're closing so many doors? And I guess opening some up, if you know what I mean.
Hey, amen. I wouldn't say no. I think
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it might be fun.
What would you do on it? What would you do on it?
Um,
I mean, you'd be a natural.
I like to cross I like to cross one bridge at a time, and I think that big decision would kind of come first, like whether or not to open the website and create an account. And then once the account was created, then maybe I'd start to, explore some ideas. But before the initial bridge, I would just, to answer that question, I would just say it could be anything, literally anything.
I think. All right, let's say this. Let's say you're like, say some beautiful broad is like, hey, like our relationship, it's going so well. Sex is amazing, all this and that. And she's like, actually, I have OnlyFans and I don't do anything with any other dudes, but, do you want to do like OnlyFans with me? Like, she's already making a bag. She's already making money. All you got to do is just do it on camera.
This is a big thing that exists, and people have very strong opinions about it. So I think I'm going to give the exact same answers I just gave. That's a very big thing to hear and a very big thing to realize all at once. So I could see it going either way. And, I think I would lean towards, why would that change? Why would that, if I'm seeing somebody and I enjoy seeing somebody, I don't know, that's one of those things where it's like, I'm not sure that would really change anything in that exact moment. Like a lot of guys I see have these like big walkout moments, and I feel like I honestly think it's a scale or a scope. The younger and more immature a guy gets, the more vague, and you'll see this on social media a lot with these trends. Sometimes you'll see trends where it's like, if she says this, get out of there, bro. She's for the streets. And it'll be, really, sometimes it'll just be like really normal things. Like, if she's got any guy friends, she's for the streets, bro, run. And I read that kind of thing and I'm like, I see the response it gets. It gets all these likes and it gets all these comments, a lot of people going back and forth. And I feel that the guys that are truly on the side of like, if my girl ever so much as like talks to a guy, in any sort of way that I perceive to be like flirtatious or anything, then I'm going to dump her on the spot. I think that's a very immature guy. Because for one, it's not even about maturity, it's intelligence. I mean, you have to realize the depth and scope of what it really means to interact with another human being as a human being. And just because you watch your girl, if you have a girlfriend and just because I'm saying just because you perceive things as one way doesn't mean it is that way. So Griffin just muted himself. I think he's having a conversation with Billy. Just because you perceive something to be one way does not mean it is that way. And that's a big belief of mine. So if I was, in the situation that Griffin described, like I said, these are big things and big events, admittedly. So it's, I would not jump past the initial decision, whatever that may be, and start to think about what would be the results and further action. But I would make the decision. And I think, just sitting here thinking about it, if I'm seeing somebody and I really like them, I don't know if this would necessarily push me over the edge. I would have to be in that moment, feel how I felt and, just kind of run through scenarios, and maybe I would choose, it's best if I distance myself from this person, but it would all be depending on the exact scenario, circumstance. One that's honestly so complex that it couldn't even be, formed into a question of what if.
So I did hear the one. I heard bits and pieces, but the one thing that caught my eye, it was like, you're gonna hate me. you were like, So wait, what was your option? It was just a decision that you'd have to. It just comes down to the. You just make the decision. You just feel the vibes, pretty much. But you're like, you said, if my girlfriend ever like has any guy friends, then I'm dumping her. And I don't think, if you have a girlfriend, she should like she should not have any guy friends. I don't think that. Sarah does have, like, to an extent, obviously there are like, you have like guy friends that you've known your entire life, and it's like they're like family at this point. Uh, I think that's different. But as of like, and like, they talk to my roommates, they're friends with my roommates. That's fine. It's like whatever. Like, you gotta talk. But it's like outside of that, and maybe coworkers. Uh, why would you talk to another guy? Why would I talk to another girl? You know, you got to think of like there's a guy. You're a guy. I'm a guy, and if you're single, you're looking at a girl, and like if you're friends with a girl, and she was just like, I mean, dude, I don't know, maybe you're different, but
No, Griff, I honestly think we think the exact same way about this, but it's like these small phrases I catch on, because you started off what you were just saying by with like this strong phrase of like there's no reason for a girl ever to be friends with a guy, but then you immediately the next couple sentences said, to an extent. And everything's to an extent.
Yeah.
So you can't really like use these umbrella. You have to be very careful when you use these like catch-all umbrella statements, like, because there's always exceptions to every rule. It's crazy. There's always exceptions to every rule. Like I think yeah, there's always exceptions to every rule. I mean, it's hard. That's why we have
really
like
good advice. Because I was fucking getting Sarah so heated up, and I was just like, and then I just like had to backtrack. I'd just be like, I mean, I like to an extent, but it's like for the most part, like because her intentions are, I know for a fact Sarah's intentions are good.
I would even argue that I would even if I was you and I was saying that about my girlfriend, I would say it differently. I would say I don't know her intentions, but I trust that they're pure. It's all about like trusting someone is like the whole beautiful thing about it. And like you guys trust each other, So like your words sometimes get funky and your actions get funky.
Well, I know her intentions.
But how can you?
It is about trust. Yeah, I mean, you're right, but like I know her intentions. She's being nice. Well, actually, do I? I don't. But I guess you're right. Never mind. I retract that.
Hey, you're right about a lot of things. Yesterday night I came home from my run, and I like how sometimes I say things to you and you laugh and you say you should make that a reel. And last night you said you should make that a reel, and then you said at the end of it, post it right now. And then like I started to think about it, and then after that you backtracked and were like, oh, it's whatever. Only, never mind, maybe not. But I had already decided, like, damn, listen to Griffin. So I did, and it worked, and I was like, holy shit, like, because I was stuck in this, like, I backed down to one Instagram reel a day, and I like to have these rules that like I set myself in like a very like. I don't even know why. It's just kind of like the way that I found works best, to live my life, I guess. And it was
with structure,
yeah. It was really cool to see, like, in this field, you just know more than me. Like, you just know. If I knew more than you, then I would be about to hit 69,000 followers on Instagram. And I don't. I tell people that all the time. There was just somebody over, Andrew, and I was showing him my YouTube analytics, and he said, and what's funny is you say the same thing as he said. But for some reason, when he said it, I took it as a very like, oh, you clearly don't do social media. You don't know how this works. He said, you just need, that one thing's going to blow up. And people, they always say that, you included for some reason. But I would think you wouldn't say that though. But you actually have had that thing, time and time again. And I guess it's true to an extent. But I think sometimes I find people, and maybe I just have to admit that I'm wrong and be like, yeah, I'm just waiting for another thing to blow up. Like maybe that's literally what I'm doing.
Well, I think it's exactly. It's true to an extent. It's like, because I've had like viral videos, but just like if you don't got anything coming after that, that's what's beautiful about what you post is you just post you. So what's coming after that is more you. So that's why I say with you is if any one of those do good, you're gonna have a mass of people interested in you. And like, or it might be different. You might be talking like it might be talking about a subject, but for the most part, it's just you. It's just you. So that's why and but yeah, no, one thing and also what I mean by that is just like you just something just clicks. Like I like like it's the one thing I can't. It's so hard to describe, but that one thing just it just everything just kind of falls into place and it clicks and it's just one video and that's what does it. Uh, mm, but getting to that point is relentless. It's just it's just gambling every single day. Gambling. It's not gambling time. It's it's gonna work. For a fact that this will work if you don't stop. If you stop, then yeah, then all of that was a gamble. But if you never stop, it's inevitable. You know. Um. And I guess that's also what I was telling myself in my mind. Just one thing, one video, one thing. And then when that one thing did happen, uh, and that one thing did happen like multiple times. It happened like 5 times. And then I think I honestly purposely just didn't carry the momentum. I was just like, I didn't do anything with it. But then I was just like, next time that won't happen. And then it happened again. And I was like, next time that won't happen. And then it happened again. And then I like flaked a little bit. And then I was like actually fucking ready to go. And then I was like, okay, next fucking time it happens, I'm going so hard. And then, I spend like 2 days straight fucking working on the bike trying to get these videos out.
Yo, there's something really true to that. Seriously. I can really relate with that.
Did that make any sense?
It made a lot of sense. I don't know if it makes sense to anyone watching if they don't do what we do, but I've had reels that have blown up, and it's been so many times that I just think like once one blows up, I'll maintain that level of views and I'll make sure that entire audience comes back again and again and again. But for some reason, that's just so rarely the case. So when you were talking about it just clicks and you always have to have something coming next, it's like that's 100% true. The only way to get there is hard work. Let me ask you for advice, because this Wednesday, 2 days from now, I have Pete coming back on the show, and I'm beyond grateful to have somebody, because I guess it's never enough with me. I can never just be satisfied. That, we're both that way. We always want more everything, more views, more money, more life, more success. And now that I have you on the show every day or close to every day, and I don't it used to be
you weren't satisfied.
It used to be that I was so alone, and then it was so refreshing to have you. And now it's like, I hear the call buffer, and I don't even put your face on the screen anymore. I just act like you're calling in, like I don't, and it's like, I'm just like really focused on having in-person guests all the time. My dad even said it to me in the car when I was visiting home recently. He was like, you really got to do what you were doing and have these guests in person. And I was like, damn, my dad, how when dads weigh in, it's serious. It's serious business.
Yeah.
So I've got Pete coming back on, and he is, it's kind of like I'm gripping on to like Pete, like he has the capability to invite a friend to come on in place of him. He can say how fun the experience is. He brings viewers like, hey, I'm on this podcast, you can watch it. And it's like this big thing. I would want to know advice on how to make it good. Like don't tell me any bullshit, bro. Cause like maybe you got to listen to what I'm worried about to actually know what to say. Cause like I know, just be myself. Like I know I should just like be in a good mood and and all that. But for some reason, like I'm still super like I texted him today and I was like, dude, I'm gonna be on my A game this Wednesday. And I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know what. I don't know. Because in past times he'll come and I'll just be really like, I don't know what it is about the situation, but like I'll honestly wish that I was just alone or talking to you. I don't know. Maybe it's a Pete in particular thing, but I'll just be like, fuck this. Like I don't like, I can't wait till this is over.
I have a crazy idea. I can't wait. That's so funny. Poor Pete. Okay, I have a fucking crazy idea. Maybe you thought of this, but like, what if you just like, you gotta have you want to have in-person guests, and what if you just started asking strangers? Like, what if you just said, "All right, I'm gonna go out and just keep on asking strangers to be on my podcast for an hour until one of them says yes," and then you just do a podcast like right there, and it's just like a stranger every day, or like if it's not like you don't have to do a stranger every day, but like if you don't have a guest, then it's like one day it can be like guy with blue shirt, or like woman from Chick-fil-A. I don't know. There's an idea. You don't have to do it, but
that's a really good idea.
I used to I don't know if you saw it, but like one day it was 3 minutes, but I animated, like I went out and I picked up a illegal immigrant and I took him to McDonald's and I had a conversation, and then I made like a stop motion fucking video about it, and it was pretty, like I was trying to mimic Midnight Gospel. I was trying to do like my own version of that.
Got it.
And it was just a stranger. Then I did a bodybuilder. I only did 2 episodes because they took so fucking long to make. But I think that'd be pretty fucking cool if you fucking did that and just found a stranger. But it was just a thing.
That's a really good idea.
It'd be you just have to like. Yeah, you just have to be bold. You have to be brave. Not give a fuck about social. What's the word I'm looking for? Social anxiety is scared of jackkadis.
It's a really good idea. With 2 minutes left on the clock for this episode, I want to tell you something that really pisses me off.
Okay.
Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't. But for some reason, I feel like I have to say, when 2 people are having a conversation, and when one person's talking and the person that is supposed to be listening starts to say like, yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah, okay. And just give like, like it should just be like entrusted, like a good conversation. I feel like between people is one person is listening, one person is talking, and both trust the other are doing that, and they just swap from talking to listening. And you and I beasted it. Like I feel like you and I don't do that at all. But I feel like you'll see like I think it's very it can be a sign of,
really.
I feel like it's very funny how you give these verbal cues to show that you're listening almost, but I think it comes off to me for some reason as wishing you were the one talking and being uninterested in what the person is actually saying. Like if you really cared, you would shut up. Like why are you letting the part of your mind that talks run while you're supposed to be listening,
Is that me?
No. I thought of that because you were giving me that advice a second ago, and I said yeah in the middle of you talking, and I was like, why the fuck did I say yeah?
Oh, I'm careful of not. I do try to not do that, and I was doing it a second ago too, so that's why I thought you were bringing it up. That's funny, but I do try not to do that, and I do it a lot. So, but yes, I agree. Like when someone is like,
Yeah,
you're listening. Listening is not thinking about what you're going to say next.
Right.
That's not listening. Listening is
Yeah.
absorbing the is absorbing and thinking about what
agree.
the other person is talking about.
Yeah.
Not thinking
Right.
about what you're going to say next.
Yes. Did you catch that I was just doing it?
Oh, I get it. All right.
All right, and with that, this is the end of this episode. Wait, is it? I can't remember. I never know anymore if I started it right at 1 hour, but I think that I did. I think that I did. It's okay. Some episodes are a couple seconds short. All right, goodbye.